I'd like to welcome you to Thought for the Day on Wednesday. If you hear noise in the background, it's pouring rain, and I can hear the rain on the skylight. It's good to be together. You know, these times together are a gift because it's a reminder of the Spirit and the goodness that binds us together. And if the church is more than just this building or just this room, the church is all of us together and the walk that we share every day. You know, what's happening in Ukraine, it just seems to hurt more and more every day because it seems so senseless. And you can just feel the pain in the people that have lost loved ones and lost their homes, and people that have had to flee their country and flee their neighborhoods. I saw an interview with a lady who was able to get her family out of Ukraine, and they talked to them and they say, well, how do you feel? And she said, I feel guilty. I guess there was guilt because she's safe and so many of the people that she knows and so many of the people that she cares about are not safe. You know, it's that kind of survivor's guilt that you look at what's happening to other people and you realize that could be me and it could be you. And in the middle of that guilt, we still have to live and work for the good and do what we can to keep hope alive. I was watching a video of a gentleman walking through a town that had been destroyed. And I just watched him walk down that street where there was rubble on all sides. And I was thinking about him this morning, and I went out, shut my door, saw my flag, and peacefully went out for my morning walk down my street. And I looked on either side of the street, and I saw some early morning activity. I saw the sun thinking about rising, and I just was overcome with guilt because, you know, I get to walk in peace. And our brothers and sisters miles away, they aren't walking in peace. And yet I guess the miracle in the message is this, that we are bound together by the power and the beauty of God's Spirit and the human spirit. And in the midst of the unfairness, in the midst of the guilt, we need to move forward and do what we can to not just help them, but to make sure that the people that we work with and are with every day, that we exude that spirit of kindness and goodness. The words for today are from John Lennon's song, Imagine. And I think it was last week, there was an incredible raising of money throughout the world, raising millions of dollars. And John Lennon's son, who said he would never sing the song Imagine in public, sang it for the first time. It's an amazing song. I'd like to just share a couple of the words at the beginning from the song Imagine by John Lennon. He says, "Imagine there is no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us, only sky." Now, when you read those words, you may think it's not a religious song because, well, imagine there's no heaven. Well, we know that there's a heaven. And imagine there's no hell because I guess there is a hell, you know. There is a hell because there are people that just aren't connected to God. But the vision of his song is that if there was no heaven and no hell, just our journey on this earth where everybody was at peace, that would be heaven. And so in many ways, the song is a beautiful song because it's really a song about peace. It's a song about all people coming together. And if all people came together, there wouldn't have to be a hell, and then heaven would come alive in the journey that we share, that peaceful journey. Oh, I believe in heaven more than ever. But just imagine that there wasn't a heaven or a hell, just people living together, because when we live together at peace, that's a little taste of what heaven is. I guess we'll get a little taste of that this week. It's Holy Week. You know, tomorrow is Holy Thursday. And I think of Jesus' Passover supper that night before he died, where he just took the bread, no explanation. He broke it and said, "This is my body, and from now on, when you eat of this bread, you will think of me on the cross." And he lifts up the cup of wine, and he said, "From now on, when you drink of this cup, it'll be my blood on the cross." It was his way of saying goodbye. And you know, we all have goodbyes in our life. We're going to talk about that tomorrow night. That was Jesus' way of saying goodbye, and yet letting people know that his spirit would always come alive in the breaking of the bread and the drinking of the wine. And you know, that's why everybody needs to be welcome at the Lord's table. Because Jesus' call to remember him is a universal call. Maybe in the spirit of that song, a universal call for peace and people coming together. And then, of course, there's Good Friday, which on the surface is a sad day because we remember Jesus' death on the cross, and yet his death is more than that. In a way, Jesus had to die. He had to leave this earth so that his spirit could be unleashed in the hearts and the souls of all his followers, because Good Friday points to the power and the goodness of the resurrection and the hope of new life of Easter Sunday. And that's what the journey is. You think about that, the goodbye of Holy Thursday, the death of Jesus on the cross so that in his death, his spirit would be unleashed in the goodness that we share with people every day. And I think that's the hope that we share for Ukraine. In the rubble of all the evil, there is the invitation to new life and hope. And imagine that if there didn't have to be a heaven or a hell, there could just be peace on earth. Wouldn't that be great? Well, it's only a dream. But it's those little moments of peace that we celebrate with each other, whether it's a Thursday night or a Sunday, or just in the way you treat each other. It's those moments of peace and goodness that witness to the power of what Easter is about. Wow, good to be with you. Thanks for listening. We'll see you Friday morning for a thought for the day, and I hope each one of you has a very blessed end of Holy Week. Thanks.